Coming up, Aaron Judge continues the home run derby in Toronto. This is Locked On Game to Game, MLB.
Every game, every team, every angle. Locked On Game to Game, your team every day.
Welcome in. You're listening to Locked On Game to Game MLB. Local experts join us to go over the action for you from yesterday across Major League Baseball. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On your first listen every single weekday. Aaron Judge hit his 12th home run of the season on Thursday and his 4th home run of the series against Toronto. Locked On Yankees has more on the impressive feat.
This is Stacey Gasulias of Locked On Yankees, and I think it's safe to say that Aaron Judge likes playing in Toronto. He finished this series 6 for 14 with 4 home runs. He hit another one on Thursday night and nearly hit a second one. They called it back for a double. They had to review it. Unbelievable performance by Aaron Judge, considering what happened on Monday night and the stuff that was being said about him and the rumors swirling and the awful things that people were saying. And, you know, other players would shrink under that kind of pressure, but not Aaron Judge. No. So now he has 32 home runs against Toronto in his career, which is the most by any Yankee. He surpassed Jorge Posada, who had 31 home runs against them. So pretty good company for Aaron Judge. The Yankees win Thursday night's game by a score of 4-2. Nestor Cortes has his best start of the season. He looks like he's turning things around. Anthony Volpe hits another home run, and it's just an all-around good performance for the Yankees as they win 3-4 in Toronto. Up next, Cincinnati. We have a preview of that series. We have a recap of this game and more. So please watch the next Locked On Yankees.
The Mets win their first series since about mid-April, and they do it against one of the best records in baseball. Locked On Mets goes over the win on Thursday against the Rays.
The New York Mets won a series. They actually did it. They were coming on about a month between series victories, and before that month hit, they get the job done, and they do it against the best team in baseball. This is Ryan Finkelstein, the host of Locked On Mets, and on tomorrow's show, we got to shout out Tylor Megill. Kept the Mets in this game only the second time this season. Two Mets starters have gone 6 innings in back-to-back games. It's been the same two guys, Kodai Senga and Tylor Megill. To see him go up against this really good Rays lineup and just attack all day and give the Mets length, it was massive. The Mets bullpen needed that reprieve, and the bullpen arms that came in held on, did not give up any runs. A Pete Alonso home run highlights the offense. Playing sick, he was amazing. I'll be discussing him as well. But the Mets do just enough to win the rubber match, and hopefully this is a sign of more good things to come as the Mets continue their homestand this weekend against the Guardians.
Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout teamed up to take down the Orioles. Locked On Angels is in to go over the details.
I know there's a writer's strike happening right now, and there's no scripted television being made right now, but the Angels are the most dramatic show on television. What's going on, everybody? It's John Frisch, one half of Locked On Angels. The Halos get a much-needed W on Thursday, winning the game against the Orioles 6-5. They split this series. It was a 4-game set against the Orioles, and man, they needed this in the worst way. It was a back-and-forth game. Shohei Ohtani, in his first at-bat, got a solo shot. Trout hit a 2-run home run, and then the Orioles tied it up. The Angels took the lead again. The Orioles took the lead, and then the Angels added 2 thanks to a go-ahead single RBI from Shohei Ohtani that made it 6-5. Hunter Renfroe had a game-saving play with a throw to second base to get Adam Frazier out. Mike and I are going to talk about this one on Locked On Angels. We hope you'll join us. Light that halo up, baby.
The offensive output for St. Louis continued as they doubled up the Dodgers yesterday. Locked On checks in post-game for a recap.
Home run derby night at the ballpark goes to the good guys. Hey, it's JD from Locked On Cardinals, and what a night for the long ball in St. Louis. The Cardinals and the Dodgers combined for a new Busch Stadium 3 record of 9 home runs and a club record 7 by the Cardinals themselves. After falling behind 2-0 after the first inning, the Cardinals exploded for 6 runs in the third, which included a 3-run dinger by Wilson Contreras. And then one batter later, the Cardinals would go back-to-back-to-back off Dodgers starter Julio Urias, and in a blink of an eye, it was 6-2. Nolan Arenado would pop another 2-run shot in the 4th inning to make it 9-2. Now, the Dodgers did come back in this one. They pulled within 1 run thanks to a Freddie Freeman grand slam and a Max Muncy solo shot. But in the 8th, the Cardinals pulled away. They got another 3-run homer by Contreras and a 2-run blast by Nolan Gorman, his second of the game. They double up LA 16-8. They'll definitely have to restock the fireworks for Friday's game. For the latest updates and info, be sure to keep it Locked On Cardinals.
That's it for this edition of Locked On Game to Game MLB. We thank you for making Locked On your first listen every weekday. Make sure you subscribe to Locked On MLB and your favorite team's Locked On podcast on YouTube and wherever else you get your podcasts from. I'm Kainani Stevens. This has been Locked On Game to Game.